Testing. Welcome in to Centre Hockey Centre here at Parkville. My name is Taryn King. I'm joined beside me by Michael Bentosser. We're just sorting out his microphone at the moment. We've got the Victorians and the WA Thunder here in the under-17s competition as Edward Sexton goes into the post there. So Victoria scoring an early goal and WA with the reply. So sorry for the technical issues. We're just trying to get that one sorted now. So for Victoria, got Tom Lane and Tom Bryan, a double Tom going circle. It's Fred Sumlis there in the wing attack bid. Lawson McLeish as we see a great goal there from Tom Bryan. Finn McLeod in at goal defence. Edward Sexton in goal defence. And River Zelensky in at goalkeeper. And for WA, got Prince George in goal shooter. Hudson Crosshurst in goal attack. Cooper Downing wing attack. Patrick O'Loughlin in centre. Blaze Meredith in wing defence. Blake Sisko in goal defence. And Alan Greachin in goalkeeper. It's an exciting game that we've got on hand here. The Victorians got a win over the ACT yesterday by about 3 goals, I believe, as McLeish gives to Lane there in the front space. And a nice block there, but picked up by Tom Bryan, and his shot is good. So, early pressure here for both teams.
Yep, it definitely is the case there. Taryn, it's great to be here. It's end-to-end sort of stuff, nice and early, 17 and under. I suppose they don't know a huge deal otherwise, do they?
No, absolutely not. As we finish there from Prince there in the goalie circle, it's really hard to stop, I think, Michael, today. It's going to be one to watch as is Tom Lane down the other end.
Well, Prince there, first miss of the tournament. He hit 38 from 38 yesterday.
Wow, that is some pretty impressive stuff as Lane leaves that one short, and a big rebound there for the West Australians. As a fumble collected.
So the action's massive, isn't it? The noise in this place is unbelievable.
Absolutely, under 17s, all the families sitting there up in the crowd, as you can see, just above the players there on court. The benches up and about. A lot of firepower on this Victorian bench. Will Meldrum, Captain Harry Hand, Judy Russell, Kevin Manford and Finn Dawson, all members of pretty much the under 17s Adelaide Grand Final last year, Michael, that I called. So Victoria get a nice turnover over the baseline there.
Absolutely fantastic that they're able to take that next step up and compete for Victoria as well.
Absolutely, a complete different competition is nationals, as we see, going up against the country's best rather than just the state's best. As Downing now has a penalty on the outside. Gives into George. And another miss. But no mistake there the second time. So WA break on centre pass there, and Downing did incredibly well to keep that in the centre third, but unable to control it. As McLeod just looking, had a couple of different options, found Bryan. Lane in the front space, he really loves that front space as a big shooter. Normally you see them holding in the back, but not afraid to pop up through the top and have that long shot as we see Tom Bryan putting that one in.
Tom Bryant's been on the song early from range as well, which is great to see for Victoria.
Absolutely, and Tom Bryant wasn't able to take the court in their game yesterday against the ACT. Coach Sarah Hogan just let me know that it wasn't anything that he was doing, just the rotations weren't working. As we see WA with another turnover. So WA, a lot of ball early, but Edward Sexton just short on the inside of the circle there. So George set up a nice little hold there, straight to post, should pop it in and does. So it's really hard to stop him, Michael. He's a big target down there for the WA Thunder.
He is indeed, and he's being moving as well, which is great to see because he can be a holding shooter as well. but to see them able to get some movement up and down that goal third has been pretty good to see.
Absolutely, and that ball just going over the top of Prince George there, and the Victorians able to transition this one now through McLeish. The younger brother of Brodie McLeish of the Victorian 23s and Nathan McLeish in the 17s reserves, with their dad Guy coaching the Rezzies alongside Matt Blomley for another commentator. So McLeish family affair here at the Nationals this year, Michael.
Yeah, they might as well just rename one of the stands the McLeish stand, because I'm sure they're setting up camp at some point.
Here is Tom Lane, that sort of mid-range shot you were talking about, Michael, and nails it pretty early on. So good confidence building here for the Victorians. There's pretty much gone for goal to start here.
Tom Lane hit 15 from 17 yesterday as well. In that game against ACT, as you said, it was a 3-goal result to the Vicks.
Here's Fred Seamless on the outside. I've had the pleasure of being able to play with Fred, who was a bit younger, the association champs a few years ago, as part of the Casey Netball Association, where his home is. He's a good young player, Fred, has been for a little while now, so it's glad to see that his hard work's been rewarded into his 17s team. As Tom Lane puts in another one. So Victoria and WA just going goal for goal early on here, with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Nice strong second phase.
Interesting setup there from Victoria on the defensive centre pass there. The defensive the centre there in
McLeish, yeah.
Yeah, he just held off to the near side, but they went to the right hand side and allowing the Patrick O'Loughlin, the opposing centre, to go on the open side.
His lane, swinging the ball nicely, Seamless, and a good ball fake there, getting the defenders up in the air. We know another good block. That's the second one today. We know that 17's defenders and defenders in general are rather jumpy, so Fred with that fake, just to get them up in the air, move those defenders, allow his shooters to get into the space. As you see, Brian putting in another goal, taking advantage of the court time he's getting this morning.
Yeah, and they're getting it moving very well. No changes as yet as well. The benches are stacked and excited to see how that goes. There's a one-out opportunity there for Western Australia and Crowhurst.
A good finish as well. Obviously, George going to have a lot of the scoring load, being that big target down there, but Crowhurst not afraid to put some up.
We hit 9 from 11 in his court time as we've lost a shoe out on court. Trying to figure out who's actually lost it.
Looks like
Seamless. Might need to redo the shoelaces on that one.
Good long ball out of McLeish. She's loving this near side to us. Is Lawson McLeish. She's working a lot on that side. As Tom Lane, nice little ball fake on the shot. Bringing the defenders up in the air.
Just going to say, congratulations to both these sides. We've seen, about 7 minutes being played, and no ball has gone out and for time to be called.
Exactly right.
It's unbelievable. We've seen a fair bit of the B&L side of things. The players lose the ball in the court too.
Absolutely. There's been plenty of that over the first couple of days here at Nationals, and that ball over the top for O'Loughlin keeps it in, but sends it way over the sideline. So good defence from Victoria. Their bench is up and about.
Love the excitement from the bench. That's great to see. From both sides it's been happening.
It's that 8th player. It's been preached about here in the Victorian camp. That 8th player, so important on the bench. Everyone's going to be ready to go. As soon as your name gets called out, you've got to be ready to go here. As Brian McLeish, just a bit of a miscommunication. They're able to settle. Lane there holding in the backspace as that ball over the top, but through body contact. So Seamless will have a penalty on the outside. We've seen the two Toms come together. Bryant, nice in the front space. Puts a nice, confident shot up and drops it straight into the net. And he's pretty psyched up there, Michael.
That was a fantastic shot too. Just the height that he was able to hold there, Bryant. It's been phenomenal early days in the goal circle for the Vicks.
I see, mishandled there from McLeish. So picked up by the Thunder. And now a chance to move it. They're going a bit backwards to go forwards here. Not really anyone near side of camera in the ball channel, but there's a good move there from the Thunder. They're able to just work their way through. Victorian defence is pretty strong one-on-one. They go back to the Meredith. Long ball off the post, out of bounds. So probably not the ball to give that transverse line long bomb, especially when you're down 9-7. Sort of need that score just to settle a bit. You just want to find that circle edge.
And you want to be trying to find a way through, like, as you said, the long bomb works at times for players that are tall enough to be able to do it. And it looks like Prince has He's got a little bit on his opponent there in height wise, but you're not going to be getting enough times to be able to make it work.
As we see Tom Bryant again, pretty much in the same, almost a similar spot to where he just dropped that other shot. We have an obstruction call on the block attempt. As we see a change coming now, Centre O'Loughlin is heading off. We'll see who that replacement is as Bryant misses that shot.
Safari Fafita.
So welcome to the court. Let's see what he can do on court as that long drive to the pocket. It's a good one, but that ball just over the top. George and tipped out from Fafita near the court.
Took a big hand on the way through as well. I reckon it was Zelensky's hand, and then took Fafita on the way through as well. So
I think you're right there, Michael. Zelensky draws that obstruction there from Prince George. As McLeod running through the middle of the court, pointing, just sort of directing traffic there from McLeod. As Lane in that mid-range steps it in. One rims out off the obstruction call, so probably time to adjust for the West Australian defenders. They've been called out a fair bit. You can't really be giving these Victorian shooters too many cracks at the shot.
No, they took full advantage, as you said, against the ACT yesterday. Only missing a handful between all the goal was used. So that's a great little turnover there from McLeish.
Absolutely, he lets himself down with the footwork. Doing what he can to try and get this one back is Zelensky in the front space nearly. As George steps in and pops that one in. So a good start off for Western Australia. As McLeish will get Victoria back underway.
The Vicks having to go back here to go forward, try and work their way through.
There's McLeod stepping on. So across to Edward Sexton now. A seamless long swing ball. They're enjoying that swing ball between the mid-quarters from channel to channel. Probably something the West Australians can pick up on. Maybe a fly there from the goal circle. As Bryant, a nice little fake and shot, misses.
Just a little bit too much on that shot there from Bryant, but I feel like Fafita needs to get it probably a little bit closer to McLeish too in this centre bib.
Absolutely. McLeish just letting Fafita go. He's drifting off into the wide channel, so he just lets them run.
Great ball movement there from the Thunder, sorry.
Absolutely, no, you're right, Michael. You're spot on with that ball movement and finished off there by Crowhurst. So a good finish and now chance to tie it back up for the Thunder. And there's that long drive you're talking about from Fafita. McLeish can just sit off, save a bit of his energy, no need to follow that much. As Zelensky called for the contact over the top of that big target there for the Thunder. An obstruction there for Epi Sexton. Should get popped in and does. Doesn't look too confident with it, George, but he's able just to pop that one in.
Just quickly on court 2 below is 6-3 Tasmania over New South Wales. That's a huge start to it.
That is absolutely New South Wales. I called their game against South Australia yesterday and they got over the line through the play of Captain Brock Starkey. So that was a good showing from them, but we'll bring it back to court 1 as Fafita fumbles that one over the sideline. It's a dangerous ball there.
They worked it out nicely, but that was not the greatest of balls from Finn McLeod.
No, not at all. Had Sexton on in the ball channel, looked to go and advance the ball as much as possible. So dished off and now a referee fumble from Fafita. He's able just to dump that one into Crowhurst. And a good contest. Contact call on Zelensky. So second chance for Crowhurst and puts it in, no doubt about that one.
When you got a shooter like Prince, you got to try and have a reasonably good fall in Crowhurst or in the goal attack sort of region, so that they can actually work nicely, feed each other from time to time. As Prince is able to get this one, find circle edge again, and we'll get this opportunity back. But well done there,
Zelensky down the front space, and a contact call from Fafita.
That's a bad penalty in that position of the court.
Absolutely. McLeish is just going to waltz forward here. Fafita just too slow coming back to him as well. As Bryant will go back off the tip from Crowhurst, so McLeod has it. Well picked off there, Meredith that is, in the wing defence bid. As Bryant, thought he was going to put that one up for a second, protecting space perfectly.
He's got it.
That's a real deep shot from Tom Bryant, and it just sent over, unfortunately, there for him. As the court beneath us, as you were saying, Mike, it's getting pretty loud down there.
I only brought it up because Tassie went down to WA 80-32 yesterday. That was the shock to me. The score result.
Well, they're hanging in there, and that's the thing about this national tournament is you can have one bad result on a day, but it's pretty quick to turn around, and the competition seems to be as wide as ever. Anyone can really win anything this year.
Prince gets that one to go. They're up by 2 here, WA, after being headed early on.
It's a really good comeback. Victoria want to score off their centre here. They've got to go quick. They've got 15 seconds. Contact call on for feeder, I believe, and so McLeish will have it. They can't rush. Yes, they don't have a lot of time, but they can't just send that ball in. The ball has to go back. Bryant's got 3 to put it up, losing balance, puts it over. So that'll end the quarter here. The State Netball Hockey Centre, West Australia fought back an early deficit to take a 2-goal lead. Michael, what's stood out for you so far, mate?
Just the pace in which the two sides are playing, just up and down the court. Both sides probably need to settle a little bit, I think, in regards to trying to control the ball. And you've got 3 seconds to pass, you might as well use the 2.7 of them.
Absolutely, you may as well take as much time as possible as this Victorian team. It's going to look to come back after the break, and we will join you then. But for the moment, Michael and I are going to rest out.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active.
So we are back here live from the State Netball Hockey Centre in Parkville for the 2025 Under National Championships between West Australia and Victoria in the Under-17s division. Michael, West Australia took a 2-goal lead to end the first quarter there. What are you looking for in this second quarter as we see a couple of different changes coming on for both teams?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who's able to settle a little bit in this one. The second quarter, we saw end-to-end netball throughout the way through, as that's the first one that's been put over the top there from Cooper Downing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just that settling is probably what we need to see from both sides.
Yeah, totally agree. And here is, it just flies over the new man on court. It is Caleb Mountford in the Victorian goal defence bib. Played for Hoppers Crossing in the Junior M League competition. As we have Australian Under-17s coach Lorraine Ward watching courtside, possibly looking for... Oh, and that is a great intercept, but slightly offside there from Crowhurst. As the front end remains unchanged for Victoria. As a good intercept there from the Thunder.
Tom Bryant scored 7 goals in that first quarter. Well, Tom Lane had probably 3 as well. Well, Prince George had 5 for Western Australia. throughout that first quarter.
Yeah, so not as much volume as you were saying earlier, Michael. 5, and he had 38. From 38.
Sorry, 8.
There you go, 8. Yep. There's that volume we're looking for. Sula sets a really nice screen on centre pass, and the second phase, great receive. Working with Lane. There he's in that front space. Puts up a deeper shot for him. As the rebound contest goes out of bounds off to the Thunder hand, so Brian will take this throw in. Who are you looking forward to this bench here? Michael, I know you've done your research. Who are you looking for to make an impact for either side?
Oh, just looking through it all and just seeing how they can do. William Meldrum was another one yesterday that scored and shot the lights out. 22 from 25 in that game against ACT for Victoria. Well, they rotated a number of goals through for Western Australia, and you got a few that could go in there. Max Zielinski is another one I think that could go through and help out Prince in that goal circle.
Absolutely, as we see a Victorian intercept and a goal now for Tom Bryan once again. So McLeish now will get Victoria in their centre pass underway for a chance to tie this game up and get rid of that 2-goal deficit they faced. As Lachlan looks like he's going to come back on in that centre bid. As Lane with a nice baseline drive, faking the jump once again. And Lane ties this game up.
I feel like the defenders from both sides probably need to hold their opportunities, as we see the first time the ball goes here in the court too. They need to hold their position a bit more before they're like trying to ride the shot in a lot of ways without actually getting off the ground.
There it is again. Yeah, absolutely spot on there, Michael. It's Caleb Mountford down there with eyes for the ball there. Linking up with his Hoppers Crossing teammate, Lawson McLeish. So the ball tipped out of bounds. So Victoria are throwing in the wing area here, and Soonless looks like he's going to chase this ball down and take the throw in.
Correction did really well there to just get a nice little hand in the ball on the ball. Otherwise, we're going to go straight to Lane and for another opportunity for a shot here for Victoria.
Jim McLeish, that is a brilliant split there. He's almost split from the circle to the sideline, but tip in there from the West Australian defenders. It's Blake Sisker, I believe, with that hand in. Meredith seems to be a primary ball carrier for the West Australians through that middle third as bullet into George and footwork call. So we're seeing a bit more whistling now in this second quarter here, Michael. A bit more scrappy netball being played as that ball from Mountford. Meredith had a crack, but it's a great strong takedown from Caleb Mountford, drawing the contact call.
A nice quick chat from the umpire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mountford having a laugh on court with Downing about it. There's time held for the stray ball from court 2. Pops over the top for Soonless, and here's Lane again in that front space. And he puts it in, so maybe chance to reposition for the Thunder defenders. Lane's been popping through that front space pretty much too easily and do whatever he likes there.
He's up to 5 goals as well, Tom Lane. So,
and a great sweep there. Big goal shooter, probably doing a goal attacks roll. Leaves that shot short. We'll have a second crack at it. Makes no mistake the second time. Victoria crowd starting to get into it now, Michael.
Yeah, well, they've scored 5-1 in the first 5 minutes of the quarter, or 4.5 minutes of the quarter. They've been absolutely dominant and been able to control they've probably settled a little bit quicker than what the Thunder have.
Absolutely, and testament to their character here. And under 17s, obviously, that sort of the youngest age group on offer here at the Under Nationals, so their ability to settle and have such cool heads, just a tender age of 16 at the most there, so good to see, and the future looks pretty bright across both states in this game.
Very much so, but this is what we've been talking about, just wanting to see a bit more possession of the ball, trying to figure out a way forward, and the defending circle.
I reckon Tom Bryan's foot just slipped out of bounds there.
Just about to say the same thing. They get away with one, Victoria.
Umpire just couldn't get around quick enough.
I know it doesn't normally happen, but that's where you probably need the non-controlling umpire to try and
maybe
have a conversation. Is that a rule change we might need to see? Might
be one that comes in as we see Fred Soonless launch that ball up into the stands over the baseline. Just a bit off balance, I believe. Tom Bryan, good tip. Waiting there is O'Loughlin, and that's some swift ball movement that we haven't seen so far from the West Coast Thunder as Crowhurst finds his way into the ring. Zielinski, great jump over the ball, but a nice high shot arcing straight up and into the ring. He's going to have time held here, possibly for the ball off court. There it is.
So Fafita's back on into wing defence from Blaze Meredith there for the Thunder.
And there's a held ball call, so great defence there for the Victorians. Right at the front and at the back, not letting any reset option go easily. As Victoria remain only that one change, which occurred at the break. Caleb Mountford in that goal defence bid, but no rolling subs been used by Coach Sarah Hogan just yet.
How much does, you've obviously played these tournaments a fair bit, and how much does the whole squad mentality have to come into it at this level?
Well, it's something that you've got to look at pretty much every game. It's a game-to-game sort of thing, as we see a nice block, but Tom Lane recovers. Like, it's a week-long tournament, so you can't just have your mid-quarters being run into the ground, because come day 6 and 7, they're just going to be cooked.
Yep.
So Sarah Hogan's probably going to be looking to her bench, and Jimmy Russell will tie in there, and probably Will Meldrum can almost go through the mid-court. So a couple of different options for those mid-court positions, but I haven't seen any rotation so far as Mountford with good strong hands over that shot. A double jump. Unflapped bullies Prince George as he puts that one in again for the West Coast Thunder. As we see Tom Lane now out of the circle. Swinging that ball probably too far from McLeish. Offside call from Fafita, I believe. So probably got away.
Lucky.
Yeah, got away with one there. As that Tom-to-Tom connection finishes with a Tom Lane shot. So this goal against Victoria has proved to be pretty unstoppable so far. We've seen a couple of blocks and some couple of tips, but ultimately it's been the Tom and Tom train. It's just been able to get the job done so far as George shot falls short the first time, but through the obstruction. No mistake the second time, however.
Zelensky did well there, almost timed his jump to perfection, but they're working their way through. Good tip there by O'Loughlin to knock that one out of court in front of McLeish.
Absolutely, McLeish just finishing his drive, probably a step or two too early, which allowed O'Loughlin to come into that and grab that tip that ball out of bounds. So we see Tom Bryant looking to put that one up and does. So he settles himself. He hasn't shot one for a little bit, Tom Bryant, but that's a good one to settle his nerves into this second quarter.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Great ball. Somehow O'Loughlin was able to bring that one in, and Crowhurst gets it off the tip to find George. Should finish this one.
And he does. So about just over half done here in this second quarter, and Victoria have got the lead by 3, so currently winning this quarter by 5. What changes have you seen been made in their maybe game style, Mikey, that's allowed them to get this 5-goal lead in the second quarter?
I think just their composure over the ball. We've seen it a couple of times, and we mentioned it a couple of times. Just they're able to, especially through mid-court, to work their way through the press that WA have put together, and just being able to sit there and go, right, we need to just make sure we've been sensible on the ball and not just throwing it away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see that composure levels that they've got. But yet to see any rotation, really, as we see Meldrum now up from the bench, and just waiting to see what bid he's putting on. Getting final instructions from Coach Sarah Hogan. He's putting on the wing defence bib, so going to give Finn McLeod a rest.
Might just be that opportunity, even if McLeod wants to, another rotation through the mid-court.
Yeah, possibly maybe give Wilson McLeish a bit of a rest after him running centre so far in this game. Meldrum seems to be a bit of a swingman for this Victorian under-17s team. As you were saying, he was goaling yesterday. Seen him play a bit of defence as well. So into that wing defence he comes. And it looks like Finn's just going to go take a seat. So that might just be the only change for Hogan so far. Just for the last 5 minutes of this quarter as Lane puts in another one.
It's obviously, as you said, we've got Australian selectors looking at these games as well. The versatility of the players to play in all 3 different thirds of the court.
Absolutely, yeah. Say as a defender who's turned into a shooter, but we see the whole ball there. Got that bit of versatility that that those selectors look for. As that ball Mountford collects, and they just need to settle themselves here. Mountford does so to his teammate Hoppers crossing with Cleish. Zelensky and Bryant connecting, ball tip there. So George and Downing, I believe, connecting through that goal third. Ends with Crowhurst trying to fight through the contact, but it's Zelensky now out of play, and Crowhurst puts that shot up and in.
I don't think Crowhurst wanted that shot to be perfectly honest. He looked like he was about to pass it to Prince just afterwards.
We've got someone who takes on the shooting load as much as Prince does. It's going to be hard for goal attacks to get into the game, as we've seen. There's been a falcon there from Tom Barrow.
Very close to one, if it wasn't one.
And Tom Lane in that front space, he's hard to stop. Putting on a show for show selector Lorraine Ward sitting courtside. So putting his name at the top of the selectors list. There's a tip there. And another tip goes back. So Thunder, they win the ball back. Sign of a good team, winning the ball back after they lose it. You see Crowhurst on the outside.
That was something we haven't seen a lot of in this quarter from both sides, is the tip back and all that, as Crowhurst doesn't get this one to go.
Oh, that was a taken penalty.
It was.
Mustn't have heard it, because the umpire started running off when Zelensky pulled that rebound in. As that shot is missed, but George is so strong in the air. Interesting turning point, that one. Zelensky mustn't have heard the taken call.
No. It is very loud in here at the moment, so I cannot blame him one little bit. So Vicks are going forward. Great work to find Lane. Lane from mid-range gets it to go after hitting both sides of the ring. They're still out by 4 goals. They trailed 18-22 yesterday at half-time, the Vicks, and they've really made a point of this second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. The second quarter has just really consolidated their structure. Being down 2 at the break, now up 4, so a 6-goal lead here in the second quarter as Downing hits the pocket really nicely, and a bit of contact on the arm there from Meldrum as we see Crowhurst in the front. Just allowing George just to sit on the hold there and just be that option, sort of in that mid to short range. So as we see Bryant receive first phase, and Sooner it's a big take above his head, and laying on the baseline once again. Puts in another.
And again, they're getting the defenders in the air, and that's going to help you 9 times out of 10, I think, in that regard, because you're just not going to do it. And that was not the greatest of passes.
No, not ideal at all.
Downing.
Off balance, and so he couldn't control it. As we've seen a change in the goal attack position for WA.
Zelensky. Slorinsky, is that one?
Sorry, I thought you were saying Zelensky, the Victorian goalkeeper. Big contact there.
Crunched.
Contact there on Fafita, but he's hit the deck. Looks to be okay as Crowhurst is coming on into that wing attack bid.
So that'd be an opportunity for players just to try and make their way through and try and add something else into that mid-court there for WAs. That's a nice tip to work that one out from Siska.
Yeah, and Coach Sarah Hogan there on the bench was not happy. Lawson McLeish was not defended on the circle edge with both mid-quarters out of play. But luckily they've won it back. Bryant so looking to make up for that missed pass, and does so to Lane and gets it back. A whole lot on. Finds Lawson McLeish, who tries to roll it in.
Is it Siska? No, it's Greenwich. Gretchen in goalkeeper has been playing unbelievable. He's just been getting the hand in wherever possible there for WA.
Absolutely. As soon as that ball drops in, he's pretty much everywhere. Lane probably just beating him on the baseline as Meldrum sends that one over the sideline. So Sarah Lachlan chasing that one onto court 2.
So change at wing defence now too, with Fafita going off for WA.
I believe it's originally goal defence in, wing defence in Meredith.
Meredith's back on.
Yep. As that ball just flies over. So half time here, ball in the stands. Someone's got to go and get it.
Excuse me, New South Wales.
It's New South Wales open player Zach Ladelia, former Victorian. He's gone into state to study for university. Has to go and fetch the ball. We'll see him in action later tonight, I believe, as New South Wales take on Queensland, possibly.
Yep, I believe so.
I think they're calling that game again together as well, Michael.
Yeah, righto. That sounds pretty good.
As we see contact in the ring, Lane, 10 seconds to go. Mid-range shot. He just doesn't miss a whole lot. And so WA will just take their time not to use up their centre pass. So smart there from O'Loughlin, not giving away their centre. But Victoria now with a 6-goal lead. They won that quarter by 8. So massive second quarter from the Victorians. Pretty much through the work of Tom Lane down there on the goaling end. Put in a lot of work, shouldered a lot of the goaling load. It was pretty good.
It was a very comprehensive quarter from the Vics. 17-8 that quarter, and I think WA will be sitting there going, taking the opportunity.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. The app today.
Alrighty, welcome back to coverage of the Nationals. We are WA and Victoria. Victoria remain unchanged. still only that one change in the second quarter so far as Caleb Mountford was the one who came on. We've had a few changes across the West Australian court. Michael, do you want to run us through those changes?
I'm just waiting for I suppose the team list to update in regards to it, but there are a couple of changes with Slorinski finished that last quarter in goal attack, and they've been able to swap out the goal shooter as well as Prince is taking a bit of a spell.
Yeah, we will get that team list for you in a second. I'm just trying to read the name on the back of his jersey.
Is it McNaughton?
I reckon it is McNaughton on there in that goal shooter bib.
16 from 16 yesterday against Tasmania. So, reasonable replacement for Prince the way he was going.
Absolutely. And we've seen a new centre and new goal defence in there as well. Is it Braley in the goal defence, perhaps?
I'm going to go with you on that one because that's what I'm looking at too.
And the centre, I believe, is Golder. Sebastian Golder in the centre bid, perhaps.
Golder, yep. So Seb Golder into centre. Really in goal defence there for WA.
As we see, Meldrum also that change for the Victorians in the wing defence bid. But Coach Sarah Hogan not really making too many changes. We see a fumble there from Tom Bryant.
I feel like the WA defenders are just going to the same spot at the moment. They've been doing that like the last little bit of that second quarter. And they need to try and sort that out and try and sort the communication out there so they can work out how to get this 5-goal margin back.
Yeah, absolutely. They've already cut it down from 6 as we see McNaughton with a big rebound and a second big rebound. So chasing his own misses.
Third time lucky, they say.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see West Australia, they're breaking the centre pass.
17's playing only one game per day, or they got a couple on today?
That's a great question, Michael. I believe they are playing
Sorry, you're
twice
completely
today.
under the bus.
Yeah, absolutely put me on the spot there. I will find out that information. As we see another tip for WA, so those changes here in the second half have shown to be pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, they've done really well.
So we'll see another goal here. Oh, rolled around.
Victoria's playing Vic Reserves at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So WA are playing New South Wales. So there are 2 games on this Monday of the championships.
It's a great ball. That second game is going to be a really good one for WA. New South Wales going up against South Australia and taking the win yesterday as Caleb Mountford getting some proactive advice there from the umpire. As that ball just goes over from Slawinski as we see Finn Dawson waiting for his opportunity to come into the keeper bib, so giving Rivers Zelensky a break as Mountford making up for that contact call with a really strong rebound in there. Finn and Caleb defend together for the Hoppers crossing under 17 Junior M League team that we saw in the grand final last year. As the Victorians moving swiftly through the court like we saw in the first half. And a contact call there on the goal defence. Lane tried to pass on off. Saw it coming, but contact called, and Bryant will put it up. Moves it short. Lane, great strong rebound in there. And puts that one in. So Finn Dawson has taken the court now. We'll see what he can do after this Victorian centre pass. As McLeish, that long pocket drive, is hit pretty much all the time after that centre pass. A good ball from Lane to Bryant, the top-to-top connection as he puts it over Lane, another strong rebound. It's hard to stop in the air, Tom Lane.
How important is that goal-in connection? We've seen, obviously, defending changes for Victoria and for both sides, but how important is trying to keep that goal circle consistent?
Yeah, it's pretty key to getting wins here at Nationals. Typically, your standard 4 shooters, each different player has their favourite to work with. So Tom and Tom, possibly that connection for the Victorians, and that is a real key aspect to their game today and what's brought them back into this one.
Florensky finishing that one off nicely for WA as that ball's gone. Going to see a ball held time. McLeish will throw it back. Bryant didn't like the look of that one.
Good ball there from Soonless. Even through the contact, Ryan didn't like the shot dished it off to Lane. So Lane's just going to give it back to Bryant. It's a bit of a confidence booster here for Tom Bryant. That's smart there from Thomas Lane. Just letting Bryant have that one shot because he hasn't taken one in a little while. So it's good to get his hand back into the going ring, although we are going to see a substitution in the goal attack bid. Captain Harry Hand is going to be coming on. Harry Hand from my home association, Casey, as well as Fred and Will. So 3 Casey boys in this team, so good to see repping the hometown from me as well.
And you on comms, I mean, Casey will be loving at this at the moment.
Absolutely. Casey produced a lot of good players over the years as Tom Lane puts in another one.
That was a nice feed from Harry Hand too, straight on.
Absolutely. He's a star player, Harry Hand. He would gain experience from last year's National Championships where he was a member of the Premiership winning under-17s team.
10 from 16 yesterday as well, so great little byplay between the 2 goalers for WA, McNaughton and Slorinsky. McNaughton finished it off. Well, it looked like he went offside there. No, umpire must have seen it differently. So, lucky it wasn't a replay as well. Yeah, absolutely. The umpire was all over it. She had the best view on court for it. Meldrum had a crack. Contact calls. This game's getting a bit physical now, Michael. Bit of body contact across the court. And the umpire having a bit of a chat to players as well. There's a nice tip there from Sulmalis. And the tip back. Oh, Hand did it there from Finn Dawson. So his first contribution whilst stepping on court. A nice tip too. Ball up is picked off by Mountford. And an offside call from one of the West Australian mid-courters. Wasn't quite sure who that was. But Dawson and Mountford have a really great connection there in the defensive circle, Michael. They've worked together for probably about 18 months now since the Junior League season last year. But that ball from McLeish just missing Meldrum. So I'm sorry, I was going to say it was the right idea to open up the space, but he just didn't get the connection. Absolutely, execution just off there from Lawson McLeish. He hasn't really done a whole lot wrong so far today. Maybe it's time for a switch as Harry Hand picks that one off. Body contact or on against hand. As that shot flies over, short from Finn Dawson. So Mountford for the hands, but shot there from McNaughton, finishing that one off. You see Fafita rejoin the bench. He's been sitting off that for a while. A bit of conversation with the coaching staff from the medical team at WA. Yeah, that ball just got spilled over the baseline there from McNaughton. It's done well since he's come on, giving the Victorian defenders a bit of a different look. His hand knocks that one over the sideline. So great contest there from Meredith, was able to put the hand off enough, got a tip to it, made it uncontrollable for Hand as West Australia cut this lead back down to 2 halfway through the third quarter. Tell you what, the game's been ebbing and flowing a fair bit, isn't it? It's just, you feel like it's just getting to a pattern and then all of a sudden there's a number of turnovers. Absolutely, and that's the staple of the under-17s competition, just mistakes, just coming into the game a bit too often for both sides here. That was a good hold there by Slorinsky. He just couldn't quite get the pass to drop for him in that opportunity. Absolutely, as you see a contact call from McNaughton. As we cast our eyes to the left of screen, it's Nerry Stewart, head coach of the Australian Kelpies, watching the future, perhaps future Kelpies on court, as we see a contact there from Mountford, and Dawson has 2 to beat. Oh, Mountford comes flying in to try and stop that one. Tried to get a nice little swat as Melbourne comes to the bench for Finn McLeod. He's reintroduced into this one. His hand finds the cleach and Lane holding as that ball heads over. So the mistakes coming now for the Victorians. They need to be able to settle here. McLeish, perhaps a bit of fatigue settling into his game as he was pushed running to the ground against ACT yesterday and played centre so far today. We see another intercept and another mistake for the West Australians. A nice little bounce pass both from McLeish and from Hand, and Lane in the front space. Nice little refeed. Getting himself involved in a nice shot as we see Jimmy Russell retire, waiting for his opportunity to come on court with the wing attack bid. So we'll have time here from the ball from court 2. Players will reset.
So Sumulus will come off, possibly get reintroduced into the centre bid perhaps. A great take there from Crowhurst. A lot of pressure was coming, but that ball over the top.
Just the ball not sticking for a couple of those long bombs. We spoke about it early. 2-goal margin though.
There's still plenty of time as well. Obviously, the whole final quarter to come, and Crowhurst drawing the contact there from Sumulus.
Good pass from Crowhurst, hits the circle edge. Nice work
back, and Sumulus does well. Gets a tip on it. Russell Ty's been waiting there for a little while. Sumulus is yet to roll himself off.
I said the next one was the call as it's back to a 1-goal margin.
So this game, as you were saying, Michael, ebbs and flows. Both teams have had cracks at maintaining and extending their lead. So ball will come back to Finn McLeod. Finds Mountford. They need to go. They were looking at the umpire's whistle for a second. Hand in the backspace. So I believe this is his first shot attempt of the game and nails it. Second, rather.
Well, that's almost a contact call there.
He did well, Crowhurst, the bounce. Didn't get the call.
I thought it was there, to be perfectly honest, but anyway, umpires are in a better position than me.
Absolutely, up here on the balcony of court 2 as McLeish looking, resets to Mountford as an obstruction is called. As we see Sumulus still on the court. I think Russell Ty's been standing there probably about 2 minutes now.
At least, his hand's got this one.
Finds lane in the front space, he steps it in, leaves it short, and possession for the goalkeeper.
I think he's been fantastic, Siska.
And this time it goes to hand. Time is being held. And they're just going to change the ball over here. So a bit of a sweaty ball, I believe. So the reserve umpire will take care of that one. His hand has it on the outside, drops it and goes himself again. So 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Victoria have a slight lead of 2. His hand will step this one in and pass it off.
But he'll get it back.
So hand will put this one up for his third, and does. So 3 goals the lead now for the Victorians, and the centre pass to follow. At this rate, Russell Ty won't come on until the fourth quarter because Sumulus is just refusing to roll himself off. As we see a footwork call there from Sumulus.
He probably needs to because he is looking a bit tired these last few minutes.
You've seen a contact call, body contact on him.
He's staying on the commentary side of the court too.
Yeah, classic footy move, staying away from the coach's box to get not subbed off, as we see heavy contact between Mountford and Stawinski, and there finally that substitution happens. It's a good shot. It's a good shot, and they're able to compose yourself after that strong contact call.
It's really well done too by Stawinski. He's going to get a nice little opportunity here too. They worked it out. McNaughton back to 1. They can't get it any closer at the moment.
Not really. Both courts providing really good games, as we see underneath us, Michael. 23-21 in favour of Tasmania, I believe. With 2 minutes to go in that third quarter. As a long ball.
Seska's being called for.
That's a warning.
A warning. You just saw that coming, didn't you? Good hold there by Lane to put that one in, opposed to Brearley. Oh, and that's thrown away.
Yeah, absolutely. Some mistakes creeping in now. So West Australia, they'll be counting down these last 70 seconds. That ball is a long ball from McLeod.
Russell Ty getting himself involved after waiting forever on the bench.
And here he comes to the top of the circle. Contact call in the circle. It's Seska, I believe, out of play. And Lane will step this in and puts up the shot. So 3 different centre pass for Victorians. They'll look to score here.
Just some really good composure in the goal circle at the moment from Victoria. They've been able to hold on to it.
There's that long ball to Russell Ty again. Goes underneath their hands to give that ball a hand. Hand sitting up in the front space. As Lane just refeeds.
That's clever.
He's a clever player, Tom Lane.
Although I don't think Hand was ready for that one.
No, don't think so. As Lane puts in another, as Seska tries to tip that one out of the ring.
That's just a goaltended
basketball terms. So, 12 seconds. Tip from Mountford. West Australia need to go relatively quickly here. Obstruction called. They need to get the ball back. He's got to put it up straight away. He does. And the Victorian crowd is up and about. They were able to get a stop there. So they have their lead of 4 and they'll have the first centre pass of the last quarter. Michael, we see the Victorians, they fought back after giving up their early lead. What did the West Australians do and then failed to do later in the quarter, which saw that lead diminish and then reinstate itself?
I think they lost the composure in the last 5 minutes of that quarter. I thought they threw a couple of balls away. There was a centre pass that didn't hit a target, and they just needed to just go back to that composure side of things that they were playing with so well.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download today.
So welcome back to coverage here, the 2025 and the National Championships in the Under-17s division between Victoria and West Australia. Victoria taking a 4-goal lead at three-quarter time. So starting this last quarter, Victoria remain unchanged, so still Lane, Hand, Russell Ty, McLeish, McLeod, Mountford and Dawson in the Victorian bibs. And Michael, who's on for West Australia? Seen a couple of changes?
Yeah, a couple of changes through there. Downey, I think, has come on into wing attack. Back on there. They've really just tried to work their way into it, haven't they? Both these sides. So they're just trying to work their way through as they get an early one. But Downey there, Crowhurst's gone into centre and probably hurt himself there a bit too. As Gretsch Sheska's back out to goal defence as opposed to being finishing that quarter in goal keep.
And a strong baseline drive from Harry Hand, but well covered by Seska. And Lane puts that one in again. He's been on fire pretty much all morning rather.
He's up to 24 goals for the game.
24-40. It's a pretty big shooting load, considering the changes in the goal attack bid. So the whole Victorian bench has been utilised this morning. I believe the same can be said about the West Australian bench, and really important for these young bodies to be able to rotate as much as possible. And as Lane puts in another, make that 25 for him.
I'm a bit surprised they haven't gone back to Prince George in the goal shooter for WA, especially to try and cut this margin back and being such a focal point in there for them. Yeah, I'm not saying McNaughton hasn't done his job, but I'm just saying, like, he's been dominant early, Prince George, and you'd think you'd try and get him to get back in there.
Yeah, there is that sort of aspect, but again, that sort of rotation, it's probably played a fair bit considering it was 38 of 38 yesterday, yep. So maybe in the interest of rotation and keeping him fresh for days 6 and 7.
There's a game of attrition, or a tournament of attrition in a lot of ways, as well as Hand with a nice drive from the transverse line. Gets the opportunity to have a shot at goal, and how about that one?
It's a good finish, and like you're saying, tournament of attrition, head coach Jared Murphy made that a focus of the lead up to this National Championships, making sure that we were very conditioned as we see that ball fly over the sideline. So Victorians will take the ball again here, as this lead is just sort of creeping out again, Michael, down up to 7.
I think WA will be disappointed with their lapses that they've had. And the second game today at 4 o'clock will be ones to keep. It'll be something to keep an eye on at the very least anyway. So, and something the coaching staff will be sitting there going, we need to work on these lapses that they have at different times throughout the quarters.
As Hand with a bit of a mid-range shot for him. It's a good finish. It's now 8 with the centre pass for the Victorians.
Slawinski kept getting some words from the coaching staff at the same time.
As we see, penalty, Seska out of play now, so Lane and Hand in the circle together. Lane looked straight in, wasn't on.
I love how he did that though.
Yeah, absolutely. Eyes to the circle is an important thing in these teams, these tournaments. Hand just letting that one go astray. As that ball in the air, Seska was afraid of body contact AFL style, so he didn't want to grab it. Instead, just tried to paddle it away to a teammate. No one was there, only Victorians around. So we see now the lead pushed out to 9. We're going to look to stay clinical and run away with this game. It's a good take there from Slawinski.
Almost match high, isn't it? 9. I don't think did we get to 10 midway through?
No, I don't think so. I think 9 is a game high lead for the Victorians, or for either team. As you see, Slawinski putting that ball in, trying to keep his team in it. And great cover there from Crowhurst and Meredith on Russell Atai. There's that deep pocket drive that the Victorians have been doing pretty much all day. And Lane on the base, nice fake for getting up in the air. Gretchen, that one is down in the keeper bib.
I think he should be well proud of what he's done in regards to Gretchen. He's been a really good defender for WA today. Might not look like it on the score sheet, but he's been getting good tips and good intercepts and reading the ball really well.
Absolutely, and in the break we were talking about this game beneath us, Michael, between Tasmania and New South Wales. New South Wales look to be running away with it now with a lead of 9. So same lead on both courts with similar time to go as WA put in another one.
Yeah, Tassie really gave New South Wales a fair scare in that one.
Absolutely, they did, and they've been good across the tournament as we see Sheska coming through the middle, picking off a nice little pass there. Oh, McLeod picking it straight off. Oh, Meredith able just to compose with Crowhurst. McLeod just sort of looked for someone in a Victorian jersey as he was falling out of court.
I know it's hard, but you need to compose yourself even in those moments if you are falling out of court. Just hold on as Prince George is back on in that goal shooter.
He is so looking to make a difference now for the West Australians. Maybe try and salvage some points here as they break a Victorian centre pass.
Mountford, though, did well there not to get in the air, which we've been talking about throughout the game.
Absolutely. Here's Downey on circle edge. George trying to find his way to the front. Body contact there from Findorf. He's not happy. As we'll see, Slawinski just dumped this one off. Obstruction call and finish shot from Prince George. So now pressure back to Victoria. West Australia have had a few in a row now. As McLeod looking long. Great take there from Russell Atai's lane, mid-range. Gets him up in the air. Misses, so leaves it short. So we've got an interesting finish here. We're going to have about 9 minutes to go in the 6th the lead, but West Australia are staying in it. looking for a run of 3, I think they will have. His hand is caught short.
Russell Ty's been huge since he's come on for Victoria, but again, Downing just threw it away and then admonishes himself for it.
Yeah, as you're saying, Russell Ty, that barometer that Victoria needed through the midcourt as McLeish has not had a rest. He's been centre this whole time. But Sumulus was pretty gassed when it was his time to come off, even though it took him a little while to get off. You see Dawson just fetching the ball and we'll have this penalty with Crowhurst out of play. It's got Mountford.
That was well done by Mountford. Everyone collapsed over to the near side and he just went over to the open side, was able to make the comfortable pass.
As Russell Ty now a penalty on the outside, finds Lane. As hand hits the deck and contact, he rebounds it from the floor.
Out of court though, I think it was, but he'll get the penalty.
And puts it in, so a settlement for Victoria.
It was breaks a run of 3, as you were saying. And we're just going to get the floor wiped.
And time held. So a good opportunity to see what changes WA can make to cut this lead to 7, Michael. As the crowd getting involved for WA.
Downing came flying out after that centre pass. He's really trying to egg his team on to try and work a way through. He goes flying for that one. McLeod now with the ball. Finds McLeish. And then it's going to be play on the call. McLeish thought he heard a whistle as the other court.
And there's McLeish again. That deep pocket drive has been a staple of his game today. Oh, his hand is hitting the deck really hard. Shasha's already been warned in that third quarter. His hand, Smart, standing in front. And there's that body contact call. So Smart there from Harry Hand. And that's why he's the captain of this sleek Victorian unit. As Lane puts in another goal. And a set pass. So now a chance for Victoria to get 3 back.
That front screen is just amazing at times, especially at this level when you've got players trying to jump all over the ball. The front screen, you can't do anything with it.
Good take there from Russell Ty. Gives and receives once again. Mountford almost looked like he was walking a tightrope there on that transverse line. And obstruction call there.
Lucky again, because I think Russell Ty got had the intercept there.
Oh, Lane just flicking that one over the top. So well done from him. And a perfect swing from Hand. Probably could have gone.
Pass looked awesome. Sorry.
Probably could have swept through the front just to relieve some pressure off Tom Ray. So he tried to just come around the back. As we see, West Australia just need to try and find some transition through the court. And Crowhurst demands the ball. As you see, Blaze Meredith now. Ball up. Crowhurst getting up to take it. Looking for George down in the goal ring. Haven't called that name for a little bit now. He re-enters the court. And he puts that one over. And tipped out there by Slawinski. So Dawson will take this one on the baseline. And with 5 minutes 40 to go, might just be about process now for the West Australians down 8. It's going to be hard to come back from. So probably just going to try and get the process right for the next 5.5 minutes. Try and find those little wins that they can. So for when they do come up against each other again later in the week, they might be able to put some processes in and try and come away with a win the next time.
So Crowhurst played 3 different positions. He's played in goals today. He's also played wing attack, I believe, and now he's been in centre. Looks like he's going to get relieved and have a bit of a break.
And look at that split from Russell Ty, just able to find himself onto circle edge, although a footwork call does come through.
He took himself out of play on that one, but some great work coming through from Slawinski for WA. He's got the circle edge.
And tip there from McLeish, and Downing just backs it up.
Clever!
And finds Slawinski with a strong take up in the air. Mountford repositions to the front. That shot is off, and Dawson able to get the rebound. So this long ball out transition, Michael, is something that the Victorians have been able to do, and West Australia have not had an answer for it. Same can be said about that McLeish pocket drive. As Hand and Lane connecting once again. As that shot falls in. So 4 minutes to go, just over now in the fourth quarter of this under-17s matchup between Victoria and West Australia. 9 the lead. Russell Ty, what an intercept, almost as if he clawed that in one hand. Oh, Lane let that ball go.
Russell Attai was watching, thankfully for him. I don't know if it was where he wanted it to go, but he got it there and finishes off the work.
So now that lead hits the double digits. Victoria probably won't be looking back now. Centre pass, so chance to make it 11. His hand, just a mishandle there.
No pun intended.
No, none at all. As you see, Sheska with the ball now. Little bounce pass into Merritt. It's a good one. Long ball. So WA trialling a bit of a long ball of their own, as we've seen through Lawson McLeish in the centre bid for Victoria. And it's Lewinsky that'll just try and dump that ball off, but a short pass call. So maybe unaware of the rule change that has been, or the footwork call from McLeod. Defender has to be able to make a play on that ball for the short pass rule now, as Edward Sexton looks to come back on into that goalkeeper bid for Finn Dawson. Not going to have a whole lot to do with 3 minutes to go left to play in this last quarter, as Dawson gets a tip. He does well there, Finn Dawson, although he's about to get dragged off the court by Coach Sarah Hogan.
Just needs to make sure he's got the right opportunity to do that. He could probably go now if he wanted to with McLeish on circle's edge. Back to the transverse line. Mountford working, although there was a contact call on O'Loughlin and they slowed it down enough for that change to happen, but WA have been able to work it out. Nice work there by Meredith.
Yeah, McLeish just misplacing that ball. Sorry, cut you off there, Michael.
No, you're right.
Misplaced the ball. As Downing now limping off court and signalling for time. So he looks really sore and he'll get attended to by the physios. Unfortunately, one of the under-20s players getting treatment before the game. It's going to be kicked off the massage bench. It's Golder coming on as a wing attack for the last 2.5 minutes. Not quite sure. I think it's his ankle he's saying. He must have rolled it. And maybe perhaps on someone's foot maybe. As that tip goes out. Good tip there from O'Loughlin.
Who have been your better players for this one?
It's hard to go past Thomas Lane there in the goalie end, but I think Lawson McLeish he's may have had a couple of mishandles with the ball, but apart from the rare fumble, he's been pretty good, and those drives have been pretty much unstoppable. For you, Michael?
Yeah, I think Tom Lane's been huge. Hand's been good since he's come on. So is Russell Attai. I think he's been very handy. But I have liked the work of Sheska and I think in goal defence and in goalkeeper for WA. Also, Gretchen's been pretty good as well in that one, in both those roles as well. So, and obviously you've got Prince up front, which has been phenomenal for WA when he's been on there. So, and it really hasn't looked like missing too many shots.
No, he's been very good, as you say, Michael. He's been pretty much on song for the first 2 days of their tournament. And there he is there, just wheeling and dealing, getting the ball back, and puts that one up and in. So puts a bright spot to finish off for WA. There is still a minute to go, but down by 8, and could blow up to 9 again through this Victorian centre pass.
Just feel like the midcourt, I think the Victorian midcourt was too strong for this one for WA, and I think that's something they'll probably look at for the game later this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. So Victoria, we have a lighter afternoon with the Victorian Res team in the second game, although they are not to be taken too lightly, as Gretchen pulls in a strong rebound.
Well, they're 57-31 up on South Australia around the grounds.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are.
That is a really good performance from the Victorian Reserves after they copped a pretty heavy loss yesterday, as to be expected with reserve teams across the years, as Lawson McLeish pulls in a pretty good intercept. So be happy with that. His defensive efforts have been really good. Lawson McLeish has been covering both O'Loughlin and then Fafita when he came on. Covered really well. As Lane pulls in a nice ball from Russell Attai.
So WA got New South Wales at 4 o'clock this afternoon. As we said, the Vic's got the Vic Reserves. That'll be a good game for both these sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And New South Wales pulling off a 20-goal win against Tasmania.
Gee, that's unbelievable.
That goal does count. For Slawinski. So an 8-goal win it turns out to be for the Victorians. So a good performance from them, but not too bad for the West Australians. So something still to work on, but a really positive finish for them. They didn't roll over at all in that game. So a lot to look forward to for both sides. As we finish up here, the players shake hands.
No, it's been a very good game between both the sides. 12 goals to 8 in that last quarter as well. So probably WA just taking the foot off the pedal a little bit. They just couldn't quite get that sort of connection going.
Yeah, absolutely. And Victoria's clinical in the second half. They were just able to put the foot down after establishing that little lead at half time. They were able just to blow it out in that second half, winning by 6, I believe, from half time. So an interesting game across the board, and players on both sides of the court were able to be very good and dominant across the shooting ends, proved to be stars for today's game. But that will draw a close to Michael and I's coverage of this game today. So I've been Taryn King, been joined by Michael Van Dossa, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you next for the next time start of the 2025 AMLO National Championships.